Hello, so today we will be solving this inequality right here. This is actually a rational inequality, and luckily we already have all of our terms to one side, meaning that one of our side is already set to 0. So now all we have to do is set our numerator, which is x plus 5, over our denominator, which is x minus 4, both to 0 as well. So solving for x plus 5 and then x minus 4, we have set those to 0. So you're going to subtract 5 from both sides, and you're going to have x equals -5, and then you're going to add 4, and you're going to have x equals 4. So x and -5 and x and 4, those are going to be our critical points on our number line. So if we if we put our little points on our line, it's going to look like something a little like this. And now, so we have to test these 3 regions because we don't know where our solution lies. So you can pick any any number in between these values. I do recommend that you pick a lower number just so that you don't have some like crazy like high number. So if we have -5 right here, we could do like -6. Between -5 and 4, we could do 0, and then 4 we could do 5. So we have -6, we have 0, and we have 5. And then in these 3 numbers that you're testing, all you have to do is plug it back into the original equation and then make sure that it is less than or equal to 0. So if we have -6 plus 5 over -6 minus 4 less than or equal to 0, -6 plus 5 is -1. -6 minus 4 is -10, less than equal to 0. And now you ask yourself, is that a true statement? Is -110 less than equal to 0? Answer is yes. So then now we have 0 to test out. 0 plus 5 over 0 minus 4 less than equal to 0. We have 5 and -4 less than equal to 0. Is that a true statement? Answer is yes. 5 over -4 is going to be a negative, and then that is going to be less than equal to 0. And now we're going to test out 5. So 5 plus 5 over 5 minus 4 less than equal to 0. And then we're going to have 10 over 1 less than equal to 0. Answer is no. That is not a true statement because 10 over 1 is going to be a higher number than 0. So now that we know where our 2 regions are, I'm going to redraw this line so that's a little more visible. So -5, 4. So that means our 2 regions are these right here. So that means we know our line is just going to go this way. So all these other values are not true, so we don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to flip the page, so that we can put it in interval notation. Oh, and excuse me, I am so sorry. Our solution for this inequality is actually going to be these 2 critical points right here. So I'm sorry, I didn't clarify that. So this is actually going to be our answer right here. That is the solution to the inequality. So -5 and 4 is your solution to the inequality. So let me clarify that. Excuse me, sorry about that. All right, so now now that we have our solution and we already tested all of our numbers out, now we can go ahead and write it into interval notation. So looking back at this, so we got +4 from the denominator. So anytime you have a number from the denominator, you're going to use an open circle because you don't want it to be, or you can't have it equal to 0. So you're going to have an open circle. And then since we got -5 from the numerator, we're going to look back to the original sign we used, which is less than equal to. Less than equal to is always going to be a closed circle. So let me just redraw this graph right here. All right, so we are going to have an open circle, and then now we're going to have a closed circle. And then all of the values are going to lie this way, and we're going to assume that the rest of the numbers are going to be negative infinity because it's a negative. Left is always going to be negative, right is always going to be positive. So now writing this down, anytime you're dealing with infinity, it's always going to be a parentheses. So you're going to have parentheses, negative infinity, and then now we have -5. Anytime you have a closed circle, it's going to be a closed bracket, not a parentheses. I had to learn that the hard way. So it's going to be -5 and then bracket. Then we're going to have union. And since this region didn't work right here, your two values are going to be -5 and 4. Meaning, so closed circle, we're going to do bracket -5 again, and then we're going to do 4 parentheses. And an open circle always mean parentheses. So this is going to be the interval notation. So we have negative infinity, parentheses, negative infinity, -5 bracket, union, bracket, -5, 4 parentheses. And that is it.